from Helsinki. Today we're talking about sound with Josue Moreno.
Hello, welcome. I'm very happy to be here. Really, this is a very exciting opportunity. And not only because I can come here and tell you boring stuff about me and self-promoting and all that, but it's because it's a very great opportunity to talk about something I work with daily, I live with daily, and I never really get to think about why I really like it. And so yeah, first thing first, I'm Josue Moreno, the sunshine of Spain. So yes, I'm originally a composer, a traditionally trained composer, conservatory education and all that. And then I studied music technology, and after graduating I started to have a lot of intermedia collaborations which stretch completely my practice towards what I do now. That I work for the University of the Arts, Sibelius Academy, and I research on something I call urban sonic acupuncture, which is an extension of what would be urban acupuncture practices, but with a sonic element in it, because I think that sound is really a very important element for creating a sense of place and for in our daily life, and we don't really notice. Sound is amazing. You can close your eyes and don't see stuff, but you cannot close your ears and don't hear stuff. So that's a very relevant thing, and it's very subtle. You can be listening to things without really noticing that you are listening to. And that might affect a lot your emotional status. So yeah, everything in a way for me is sonic. The first idea I would like to say is that sound is the host of everything, and it's very early capabilities we develop in our mother's belly. And for me, sound becomes the perfect tool for getting you towards challenging the normal, to challenge the normal behavioral stuff, or to challenge normal, whatever. And sound can touch people in the distance. So when the sound comes out of my mouth, then the idea does not belong to me anymore, and it's not my bodily presence anymore, it's you here. So I would like to talk about what is the sonic fascination we have. Since prehistoric times, when you get into the cave, you think our ancestors staying in a cave and starting to talk there, to communicate, and listening how the sound behaves there, they would have been really overwhelmed, because a cave is a very complex sonic device, and sound there behaves very weirdly. So there is a lot of research done on how the prehistoric paintings are placed in the caves according to specific sonic characteristics. Well, I cannot tell the whole story from the cave to now, but I can tell that because the subject of today is sound, but exactly what makes a place sacred, that I believe is sound, then I would like to introduce you, for instance, to this wonderful pyramid. This is Chichen Itza in Mexico, and this is a very popular pyramid because if you go and visit it, you will see a lot of people staying right in front and clapping. And when you clap on it, you get a sound reflection that behaves like a bird that is near the place. It makes this squeaky sound, and also you have the rattle from one football-like court that is nearby. That has a very long reverberation also, so you get the bird and the snake that are elements in in their religion. So yeah, when you have a, sorry, I'm really messing because I have some tips here for not forgetting about stuff, but I'm forgetting about how to handle the computer. So yeah, what the idea is that probably I would like to raise the question is, when we have this element here that definitely sounds very strangely, and it seems that has this allegorical representation, is it actually done in purpose? Is it really that they said, we are going to build this whole pyramid that is going to sound like a bird, and then we have the snake there? Or is it just a chance, and then they use it? It comes that there is this element, parallel to our architecture, that is the oral architecture. And with the difference for what is an architect, in oral architecture you don't have one person, you cannot pinpoint that this is the oral architect, but the oral architect is a social force. So you have a lot of elements from the budget, from the decisions by the people, how many people you have to sit down there, what materials you are going to use, who decides that, and so on, and for years. So at the end, you end up having these elements that are very intriguing as a sonic object, but also very socially formed. And I would like then to tell you this story about how we tend to understand long resonant spaces as sacred or a place for cult. So the most religious example of that is whatever Catholic church you might find. This is Toledo Cathedral, and you have it in Spain, and has very high ceilings, very long and wide stone walls, and they are completely insane, the reverberance you get there, and the sound when the choir sings there, it sounds holy. But how we became that, you don't say, okay, let's build a holy space and let's make it very resonant, so let's build a stone cathedral. You don't do that. It's you have a social force working for centuries. And so we go to the century when the Christianity became the official religion of the Roman Empire. And then they say, okay, well, now we have to host a lot of people, as much people as possible in a place for doing the Mass. And we have all these leftovers for our previous temples and gods and stuff. So we have a lot of stone and a lot of stuff. And we have these places for market. So, okay, and they already have these big columns. So let's start gathering them there. You have thousands of people there. That's wonderful. And then, oh, it's getting chilly in the winter. Let's put walls with the remainings we have from the other temples. And you know, you have very high ceiling and stone walls. And then, okay, well, that's wonderful. It sounds nice. And the guy who can sit higher can speak louder and get his voice project and sound holy. So there has been always this. The guys who know how to treat sound are very valuable, like a shaman or any tradition like that they use sound for religious experience. So okay, we go on, and then these Christians move on, because the Christians were very active on gathering people around, and they said, okay, well, the church in my hometown looks like this, so let's do something similar, and so on. There is a model. And after centuries like that, then you get these long resonating buildings with holiness in it that change once the Reformation came and the spoken word started to be more and more important. So the reverberation times became different. The priest was sitting in a different position, and they were in a placement, and they were speaking in vernacular language, so the word has to be understood, so the reverberation was kept lower, and you can have also wooden churches that sound very wonderful, very crystal clear. So So that's mainly how you do that, but once you have this reverberation as holiness, then it becomes an earcon, like an icon, but earcon. And then you can use this holiness for that. So the church is also brought something that is cool, is you bring these church bells for calling the people to mass. Let's come. And we had a very wonderful example here with this wonderful whistling that Barbara did for the entrance. It was one sonic event, and everybody understood it. And back in the days, it was a church bell. And the church bell defined also citizenship, because whenever you are able to listen to the church bell, you know what time is it. And then your rhythm, your daily rhythm, gets in line with that time. And whoever is able to listen to that, then is aligning with their neighbors. And if you are so far that you cannot listen anymore to the church bell, you are not belonging to the city. You have your rhythm with the sun or with whatever else. And then, of course, nowadays, we cannot listen anymore to the church bell because our cities are very noisy. But that's a wonderful situation. It's just different. It's not noise pollution. It's a different situation. We just like very much the opportunity to listen either to the church bell if you are close by, or to listen to the wonderful whole city resonating produced by a plane passing by, or to the most subtle sounds that you can get through electric amplification. So yeah, when we are talking about sound in the public space, we might think about what kind of usages you can have. And I've been doing a very rough map of when you are, as an artist, you are working in sound in the public space, and then it looks a bit clumsy, but that's how my brain works. I'm also a clumsy person. So yeah, you can start as the most aesthetic option. You can aestheticize the place. You can say, okay, this place, I like it very much. It's wonderful square. I'm going to put sounds that make it sound wonderful. That's aestheticizing the place. But then you can, from that end, you can go towards the most pragmatic stuff that might be changing how the place feels. Like if you have a big airport with a corridor that feels overwhelming, with sound you can create the sensation that the space is smaller. So you can bring the space to human size just with a bit of sound. And that's a big power. Also, sound is a power tool, but that's a different speech. So when you can raise awareness of something with sound, it might be that the sonic situation is too bad and the people is sick of that. Or it might be that the sound situation is very nice, but the people is not aware of it, and then you have to do something. Or you can, for instance, if there is something missing there, like let's suppose that there's a riverbed and the river is already dry, then you can put water sounds there to make people aware of the ecological damage done in the area. So, and you can of course talk about the history of the place, and you can bring elements of the history there and talk about that. And talking about the history of the place, I would like to talk about one sonic idea that it was a big source of inspiration for me, and it was Marconi, one of the guys involved with the radio invention. He thought that the sound really never disappears. It's just that it gets softer and softer, and then the sound is so soft that we cannot hear it anymore. But if you have the proper technology, you can bring it back and listen, for instance, to the words spoken 2,000 years ago. I don't really believe that's possible, but you can really have it as a metaphor and work with that. And for that, I decided that, okay, I like this idea very much, and I like the sonic figures that are used as just sacredness instigator. One was reverberation or resonance, and the other is echo. So when you go to a place with a big echo, the first thing you do is to interact with it. It's impossible to interact. But then I decided, okay, I'm going to do an echo machine, an echo device that is somehow a little bit more intelligent than regular echo. So you have a machine that talks to you, replies, and it can reply immediately, or it cannot reply at all, or it can reply after 20 minutes. So you might say, hello, how are you doing? And then you leave the place tired of waiting, and then when you come to place, somebody else comes, and you are gone, and then they listen, hello, how are you? And probably they reply. And there is this history building mechanism based on echo. So when you go to listen there, you start to listen to all the filtering done through hundreds of people talking to the device. And the feeling of sacredness of this room, these are curtains, and the room was with a weird shape just to foster certain sonic frequencies. And there is that panel that is oval, a little bit like looking like an eye, a big eye, and they are moving. And the people get there and they start to get very religious feelings about it. I can show a little bit the detail. Yeah, so it looks like that. So there's this paper on needles, and whenever you are nearby, your own movement moves the papers, and then there are these messages with the thread and so on. So I like that very much, and I also just not only letting people talk, but I also continue building, and I brought up some druids or shamans that they knew how to interpret those signs, and they were coming here to sing and to talk to that. And it was very, very nice, because we also really had a Sha woman, one composer that she spent years working on the Native Americans, learning the traits of the shamanism. It was very, very nice to have her doing sounds there. So yeah, when you talk about that, then the people arriving to that place, they start to feel very, very, very calm, that they had to say something meaningful, because the sound is calling for something meaningful, and you are going to add to this wonderful stream something. So when you are into that, then you go and say something relevant, or something relevant to yourself. And then it's the religion aspect of that. So a lot of people were asking to be locked there for a while. They were talking with their, I don't know, relatives who are not anymore among us, or with their pets that are, or there were coming kids and they were playing. So it was really, really very nice experience. And when this installation was moved to another institution, it was for 5 months there. Even the people who were working there, that they know that there is a switch on and off. Still, the sound was so powerful that they start to give animistic features to them. And then they would start to say, oh yeah, today is very silent, but yesterday it was incredibly talkative. So, you know, the personal relation with an installation, and that was really, really wonderful. That made me feel extremely happy about this. I have some sounds for that, and I have a video that I hope you like. I don't want to put the sound of the video because there is an interview and we look horrible, and whatever we say there is not really extremely meaningful. So we were very tired. so they decided to make the interview the day when we were really almost passing over. So this passing out. Okay, so this is the video and this is the sound. It's after a few days or so. She's Gemma Alaba, she's my partner on this, the visual part of. All right. You can hear some diphonic chant in the. The politician who was later involved in a lot of corruption and stuff. Yeah. All this sound is generated by the visitors. It's really, it gets streamed. Yes, this is the guy doing the diphonic chants. It's Llorenç Barber, Spanish artist. A lot of conversations going on there. And he's the BBVA bank artistic director, whatever. So I guess yeah, we are melting into the idea. So the idea is to give the visitors some space for deep sonic experience and see what it brings you. So when you are using artistic sound in the public space or in a half public space, you can excite all the associations that this person is having in the inner conversation that they are having their whole life. So when you give this deep experience, it's really wonderful, and you can excite some reactions that might feel religious or sacred or just profound artistic enjoyment. So I hope I made any point, and I would like to see if you have any questions. Thank you for listening.